Welcome back to another stock market update, my friends. The stock market has recovered from that huge drop here. We're looking at Nvidia. Nvidia tends to be a leader in the markets. If Nvidia is dumping, you better expect everything else to be coming down with it. Of course, there will always be exceptions, but as of right now, the market is recovering. We bounced here and we are testing this 125 area that was clearly a previous resistance zone, and we are getting pushed down today. Today is Friday, so if you're watching this video, we kind of expected some downside today. It's Fridays tend to be downside days. They tend to be red days. Even on my watch list, Bitcoin is red as well. So I don't think anyone should be in any shape or form surprised by today's kind of iffy. We're not really falling, we're just kind of going just going sideways. But if we look at next week and what's ahead, you will notice, and this is important to keep an eye on. Again, always keep an eye on what the market as a whole is doing, specifically the SPY, QQQ, and Nvidia. But we also have Fed minutes next week. The Fed minutes from the July meeting will be next week's focal point. Let's see. Here's the important one. Wednesday, August 21st, brings the FOMC's July meeting minutes. And then we have Jerome Powell that will speak at the Jackson Hole retreat on Friday, August 23rd. These are two market catalysts. If Jerome Powell says something, if something is said at the FOMC minutes that people don't like, there's going to be a huge sell-off. If people like what they hear, we'll see a continuation of the trend that we are in. But for Friday, of course, I think we would expect either some sideways action or mostly sideways. I think we're going to see some sideways action. I've seen this before so many times. I mean, they have FOMC meetings all the time, and the data shows that in anticipation of these meetings, in anticipation of Jerome Powell speaking, the market goes sideways because there's just so much uncertainty. People aren't willing to buy to push it up higher, but they're not willing to sell yet. It's more like they're sitting back and waiting to see what's going to happen, and then the reaction happens, and we get some kind of big move to either direction. Who depends. So if you've been around long enough, you know what I'm talking about. I would expect sideways action for the time being. And let's see. Yeah, so Wednesday and Friday, those are next week is gonna be huge because it's gonna decide whether we continue here or if we're gonna start dropping even lower, and we'll be creating a lower high and possibly a lower low. And it continues this, I know people don't want to call it a bear market. It continues this quote-unquote growth scare, as some people have dubbed it. But other than that, you look at most stocks, they're just kind of going, look at Riot, it's just going sideways. Microsoft, pretty much anything that's tech is moving to the upside. Mara sideways, QQQ moved up, Tesla slowly climbing. It's not climbing as fast as the other ones, but you'll notice there's a huge disconnect too. That's something that I noticed recently. There's a huge disconnect between Bitcoin. You notice Bitcoin, it did not get this big rally, did not get like this huge V-shaped recovery. Instead, what we got is the stock, the dip was bought at the trend line down here, but it's showing a lot more weakness relative to SPY, QQQ, and Nvidia. And that's usually a bad sign, because every time I've seen this happen, it's because sometimes the Bitcoin market, sometimes they know something we don't. And even though stocks are rallying, if Bitcoin itself starts dumping lower and lower, if we see that disconnect between BTC and the market, that's always a sign like, okay, we need to exercise caution here, because we're seeing rotations happen, we're seeing Bitcoin dumping, but the market's going up. But we also have all these catalysts underway as well, and all this fear, and it's also election year. So there's just so much. I think we're going to see a lot of volatility post FOMC meeting. But other than that, I think at this point, just accumulate your favorite stocks at cheap prices. That's what I'm doing. I'm accumulating Riot down here at $7 to $8, and if it goes lower, I'm going to add more, because we've been through a bear market before. We know what happens in a bear market. Stocks get absolutely cheap, ridiculously cheap, for no reason other than not because the company is garbage, but because I don't know why, honestly. People want to sell, okay? That's it. That's really what it comes down to, right? There are more sellers than buyers. Let me give you that spiel. But Nvidia, I bought it at 93. I alerted that in the Discord. I would look to buy Nvidia only if it goes under 100. We've already seen it go under 100 once already. So that means it's absolutely possible that we see that come down under 100 again, and it's a buy. Under 100, Nvidia is always a buy. So that's what I'm waiting for. People always talk about, oh no, you're not going to see 100 ever again. Well, Tesla, we never thought we'd see under 200 when it hit a high of 300 up here, and then it hit a high of 400, and guess what? We did see under 200. So, and multiple times we've seen under 200 for Tesla at least. So you can't say like, oh, you'll never see this stock price again. You never know. That's the beauty of the market. So right now it's just about buying the stocks that aren't really moving much. Like, where is it? I'm really focused on Bitcoin miners because they're just not moving. They're not. Let's look at Beto. Where's Beto? I just saw Beto. There it is. Or ARGB. Even better, let's look at where's Riot stock. Even Coinbase. But specifically Bitcoin miners they've been going sideways, guys. And whenever you see Bitcoin miners refusing to go higher, struggling to create a higher high, despite everything else around it doing so, that tells me to exercise caution, buy the dip, be patient, exercise discipline, and you will be rewarded when we go on the next bull run. Because I know people don't want to call it a bear market, but hey, look, the last bear market we had, this Riot stock dropped from 43 to a low of $4, only to rally in the bull market to 20. And right now it's under 10. So what do you think I'm doing? I'm buying. Because the last time we had a bear market, I was scared. I saw Riot stock at $3 and I was scared. I was like, I don't want to buy that because it's probably going to go to zero with the way things were looking, right? Because that's what happens in a bear market. People get scared. They don't want to buy Tesla at 100, Nvidia at 100. They look at that and they go, oh my God, doom and gloom. Everything just keeps going down. Extreme fear. And then when the market rallies, we get extreme greed, and they're the ones who push up the price for us to sometimes to own all-time highs. Like Nvidia went from 100 to 1,200 before the stock split forward. So I'm buying the fear. I'm doing the opposite of last time. Instead of being scared, I'm going, wow, what an opportunity. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna buy my favorite stocks nice and cheap, and I will hold, even if it continues to come down lower, because we know, I'm not going to say, I don't want to say we know that we're in a bear market, but hey, we are trending to the downside. And I'm going to take advantage of these cheapies. So that's my thought process. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But this is what I'm seeing. This is based on my experience the past few years. This is my experience, based on my experience going through a bear market and a bull market recently. Because this was not too long ago. I think we bottomed out down here at, we bottomed out in late 2022, 12/27/2022. So we've been there already, and now I have enough experience to know I'm buying the dip. I'm not going to be fearful. I'm going to be greedy when everyone else is scared, when everyone else is in extreme fear. And that's it for the video, guys. Keep an eye on Bitcoin over the weekends. I'm going to keep an eye on it to see how it moves, because that one, sometimes if it gets a huge drop going into Monday, that's something happened. That's what that means. And that means that we need to exercise a lot of caution. That also means I'll probably buy the dip when Riot gaps down below 7, which would be, to me, like, hey, if you want to give me the opportunity, I will be more than happy to buy under 7, because 7 is our biggest area of support here. And if this breaks down, we're going to see 6 and 5s. And fast, because they're volatile. So right now I'm just focused on those volatile stocks right now. Nvidia is volatile as well, but again, I'm not going to buy it here at 123. I'm going to wait for it to see if it's going to come down under 100. A lot of the game is just being patient and exercising discipline and having enough experience to recognize when there's opportunity and not being fearful when everyone else is as well. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one.